Hi guys, so I am back in my classroom today and I'm coming in to just finish up those last minute things and start thinking about what I'm gonna do the first few days of school. I already have like my PowerPoint, my slides that I use every year, but I just need to go through them and decide if that's what I still want to do. Did I like the activities? Do I want to switch them out? Sometimes I get bored with the ones I'm doing, and so I need to go through that stuff, do seating charts. I usually do some type of little gift on their desk when they come in for open house. So I need to get that done. Just some random things like that. Things that I don't have to do, but I enjoy doing. So that's what we are gonna do. All right, I have finished my seating chart, but I thought I would share something else that I always do that has always been super helpful to me during whole group instruction and small group instruction. But I will take each name and I just have them in a square where I type their name so I can move them around when I do a different seating chart. But I take them and put them in alphabetical order, and I use this to help assess them during certain lessons. So if I am asking them questions and they continue to get things wrong, I might put an X on their name. I know that they are not getting it. If I don't put anything, then they're good to go. If they're in between, a lot of times I circle it. So that's just like my little system. I just use one of these that I put multiple copies in. And so I'm always ready to go, and I just title whatever it is I'm assessing so that I can make some notes at the end in my notebook. Another thing that I have completed is I'm giving my kids just a few Starburst when they come in for open house. And so I found this free printable on Teachers Paid Teachers. It is from Teaching with Crayons and Curls. I believe her name is Chandra, let's see, Dills. And so it was nice because it was editable, so I was allowed to add my name on here. So I am going to print these out so that I can put them on small bags of Starburst. So I feel like I keep coming to school and I'm just not getting as much as I normally do done, and I'm getting frustrated. I mean, I'm getting things done, but I don't know. I feel like I come in and I sit here and I get some things done. I'm like, I just created more work for myself. What I mean, I'm like getting things halfway done and I'm just getting frustrated because we start next week and we're down to crunch time, and I always feel like I have so much to do. So this is what I worked on today. So I printed out some different areas because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted. Through our mentor sentences, and we work on our own, I have the kids vote on a sentence that they thought followed the pattern the best and did the best with their sentence. And so I create a bulletin board out in the hall for that. These are papers that I create for kids, one kid to take with them to their different specials so that I can decide if they get a point or not for their behavior. These right here, I have the name covered up, but these will go on a 12 by 18 piece of construction paper, and then I laminate it and I put it out in the hall, and the kids will then choose papers that they are proud of, what work they thought was amazing. And so we also keep track of how many books they've read for the 40 book challenge. So that's what those are for. So they're not done. This is for my weekly plans. I just created that on Canva. I can show you what that looks like. So that's all that is. So I just listed out. I don't do super detailed plans because I do slides, and that's where I'm really detailed. This is to give to parents on Monday when they come in, because we are a standards-based grading system. So just so they have some idea what those letters represent. The other thing that I printed that I use every week is this. I believe I found it for free on Teachers, Paid Teachers, and there were different, it's all the same but different fonts. And so I use this every week when I'm planning, just so I can keep myself straight because I forget. The other things have names on them, so I'm not going to get too close. But just right here is my seating chart. This is the paper that I was telling you about that I use for assessments. And some are just some school schedules. This right here, this paper right here, that is all my kids alphabetically, and that's what I use to check in work or if they brought notes back. And it's just an easy way for me to keep track of everything, and I can just clip it on the papers. When everybody has turned it in, I can throw it away. This is a paper that I use for special education students, just for me to be able to chart how they are doing on specific things. So this is some of the things in the past the kids have been able to use their dojo points for. So these are individual rewards. I don't put this out because they will brainstorm together as a group next week, and they will come up with their rewards that they would like, and as long as I agree to it, and then they will decide how many points are needed in order to get those different rewards. So these are the ones that are sometimes the same, sometimes not, so we will see how they do with that. Now, with all that, I mean, I feel like I got a lot done. I've only been here for a couple of hours, but I just want to be done. Today, I am going to head home. I have a church meeting that I need to get to, and I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my evening, and I'll be back tomorrow to do some more. All right, so it is another day in my classroom, and we are going to try and get my first week planned out. So today, I want to get ready for open house, which I have on Monday, and I need to get my plans done for the rest of the week. So let me show you what I'm working on. So the first thing that I have is I have a Google Slides presentation. I got the layout for from Pocket Full of Primary. I got it with her open house lesson bundle. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it is from Pocket Full of Primary. This is what I really wanted to show you. So I don't know if you have heard of Steve, what's his last name? Wayborg? Wayborney's. So Steve Wayborney's blog, he has all kinds of math puzzles that I love to use. So I really love the Estimistries, and I also love, there's one that's Clipboard. What is it called? Estimation Clipboard. So those are the two that I use mostly, but what they are given, let me switch over here. I download them and I put them into my Google Drive. See all this. So this one is just called the Vase of Discs. They all have names. And so the kids are given this and they have to estimate how many discs they think are there. And so then it goes on and it goes through the directions that you're going to have clues that appear and you're going to have more information. And the whole time the kids have a hundreds chart. And as you get into the higher grades and get into the more difficult ones, you have to go up to like 150, I believe. But they will get a clue, and after each clue, they estimate again. And so they will write down their estimate, and each time, if it's no longer available, so they will mark off on their hundreds chart when it's not possible. And I think you'll see what I mean. So we go on, they get a clue. So the answer is between 40 and 100. So on their numbers chart, they would mark out, 1 through 39, and then they would mark out, if I gave them the 150 chart, 101 all the way to 150. And then they get their next one. The answer is part of this pattern. So I start off very easy. I think this is like a first to a third grade one, just so they can kind of figure things out. And we have some time to review math because in the older ones, like the 3 to 8, the word multiple comes up a lot. And so it's just some of the vocabulary. So it's great, you know, teaching videos too for vocabulary. And so they go through these and they mark off. And so I start off very simple. We will go into our next activity and we read The Legend of Rock, Paper, Scissors. It's such a cute book, and kids usually like that. And then we will play rock, paper, scissors, which we do occasionally to decide like who's going to go first during a game that we are playing in class. I've seen them using it out on the playground. And so it's just, you know, it's also fun. They enjoy it. I'm going to take out the beginning of the year to see what else I have. All right, so after going through this and looking at some things that I have online, I found the letter. I laminate them so that I can use them every year and I don't have to redo it. So I just say, you know, that I'm happy they're here. This is my name. These are some of my favorite things. This is what I love to do. Now that you know these things about me, I want you to write a letter to me and tell me about you. What are your hobbies? What do you get most excited about? Those kinds of things. So I give them a few things to write about. So that's their first writing assignment for me. I believe I got this from Pocket Full of Primary too. The idea. So I just laminate them so I can use them every year. So there's no time type things in there. Like I don't put welcome to, you know, 2022, 2023 school year, nothing like that, so that I can continue to reuse them. The second day writing is, I think I also got from her, from Pocket Full of Primary, but I also laminated it so I could use it repeatedly. But so yeah, the first day is over, so what are your thoughts, pretty much. And so this is what they write to me the second day, and again I laminate it. There's nothing on here that is time related, so I can reuse it every year if that's an activity I choose to do. So you know what, after having a whole day and us doing a lot of talking and reflecting on what fifth grade is going to look like, what is it going to be like, you know, what are your questions, who are your friends in the class. And I think Pocket Full of Primary, Michelle had talked about wanting to know. She does it because she wants to know who their best friends are, so she can find those kids that may not have the friends. And so I loved that idea when I had heard that from her, just something that we don't always think about. I think we kind of unconsciously notice it, but now I can make a conscious effort to find those kids and make sure that they are comfortable within our classroom. So the third writing activity, because we usually have 3 days to get us started, so is one you've seen all over Instagram. And so how I spent my summer vacation, and just like everybody else, it's great because not every kid gets to have this grand vacation adventure. And so teaching them that it's okay to use your imagination when you are writing. So that's usually my third day writing. So that's writing for the 3 days. I always try to incorporate books for the reading part. So I do a lot of picture books in my class. So one that we read is I Promise, and that is by LeBron James. And so we read this and we make our class promises. You know, what are they willing to promise that they will do? And then I usually will put those up with my discipline, like my lifelines and stuff. So if we're having a chit chat about behavior, I can be like, you know, we promised that this is how we were going to be in class. And so sometimes it's a great conversation starter if it has to be had, or a reminder, I guess. The story of my name, and or the name jar. So this is something that came from Fun in Fourth, is like the reading part of it, and then there's also an art part to it, and so that comes from artprojectsforkids.org. So we read the book The Name Jar, which I currently can't find, so I need to get on that. But we talk about what if your name was different, or you know, what are the reasons were you named for a reason? And so we talk about my son's name, and I talk about my sister's name because she has a story. I don't have a story to my name. So I understand that. And so we talk about how we can still write about our name, and we look up different things about our name so that we can write about it. The other part to it is the art part. And so they draw, this comes from the art projects for kids. So they draw something similar to this, but she also gives you directions on how to do that. And so we work a couple of days on this, but that's their first like homework assignments. Is they are going home and they are asking their adult, their guardian, their parents about their name. You know, why does it have any special meaning? Is there a reason why you guys chose this name? How was it chosen? So we talk about me choosing Jared's name because it's hard being a teacher and having all these different names going through your head. We talk about if they have any nicknames and why they were given that nickname. And so we try and come up with a lot to write about, and they learn a lot about themselves and their name too. So that's another reading / writing activity that we do for ELA. Sometimes the first week, sometimes we read, we talk about it, and the writing happens the first full week of school, so the second week of school. Copy the teacher. This was from Dustin Ecker on Instagram, I believe is where I saw this. And the teacher builds a tower. I do mine in the hallway so they can't see it. You can build it however you want to. I do not do mine exactly like this. Actually, I probably do it different every year. I have no idea. But you put your kids into groups of 4, and each group has a looker, a builder, a speaker, and a teacher speaker. So they each have a job, and they can't cross over those jobs. And so it's interesting to watch this happen. It's a cooperative activity, so it's fun to sit back and take some notes on kids on how they interact with others. The other thing that I will sometimes do, I've done this, I didn't do it last year, but I did do it the year before, but I always pull it out if I need an activity. So the index card towers, this is, I saw this on one of Michelle Emerson's Pocket Full of Primaries best back to school activity video. And so you are just given, you give the kids index cards and they sit and chit chat. And when they find things that they all have in common, they write that on the card and they can use that card to build, but they can't use the card without having a commonality between them. So that is that one. And then I have just a couple more to talk about. I usually use this at the end of the 3 days. So I will use this on Friday. So I will have talked about different things. So this is a get to know your teacher activity from Chalkboard Creations. She gives you a blank one so you could do your own, but it's, you know, what's your teacher's favorite subject? What's your teacher's favorite color, favorite children's movie? And so I give these answers throughout the week. And so that way they have some idea what the answer is, but they had to have been paying attention in order to know what they are. So, and then I just have my answers here. And then the last thing I always have ready is from Teaching with a Mountain View. And it's just a scoot activity for the beginning of the year. I use it as a time filler if I need to, or if I got to talking too long and I need a break and need something for them to do. But it's just random stuff. So like make a list of different ways you can eat ice, draw a sad face, and silently pretend like you're crying. So it's fun to see those kids that are willing to step out of the box and do some of these, and the other kids who are more reserved, and the ones who will just giggle at each other. So I do enjoy this activity, so I will throw that in as well. So if you have any favorite activities that you really enjoy doing, please put them in the comments so everybody else can get some ideas, because it's really what I'm hoping that this channel becomes, is me just sharing the ideas that I'm doing in hopes that other people comment, because that's where I get my most PD, is from talking to other teachers, observing other teachers, because we are all we're all full of information, and so sharing that with one another. Even I'm not great about coming up with my own ideas. I'm not super creative in that way, but I love watching other teachers and finding those new ideas that work for me and how I teach. So please comment below, what are your favorite back to school activities? All right, so in here I have my small number 5 for them to take a picture with my teacher iPad, and then obviously if the students, parents or guardians want to take a picture of them, you can read some of the things that my 5th grader said last year about 5th grade. I got this from Pocket Full of Primary, but her her templates for Meet the Teacher Night, I think is probably what it's called. So I have that I will give to parents from Learning in Wonderland, but it's a foldable. It's not all together, but it's a foldable about 5th grade. What our grade system means, because we are a standards-based grading school. They will have to tell me how their child gets home from school, so that I have all that and have the correct best numbers, because kids don't always know, and just their sign-in page. And these were free from Pocket Full of Primary. From the Teaching Spark, just if parents, this year parents are allowed to start coming back into the schools to help. So if I have any parents that are interested in that. First one is just where they're gonna sign them in and tell me about their transportation. Second is, this was a freebie on Teachers Pay Teachers, but I don't remember who it was from, and it's not on there. So Station 1, they will get all this information that I just went through, and they will find their students or their child's number, so that then they can put things away in their cubbies and get that organized. Next, I will have the parents sign up for Class Dojo while they're here, so if they need my help, I can help them do that. The next one is I have them write a note to their child. That way I can leave it on their desk for the first day of school, and it's a great, it's uplifting for the kids when they're nervous about coming in for school on the first day. So a positive note. And then the last one is taking a selfie picture. Hopefully everything goes well. So that is going to be all for this video. I thank you for joining me, and if you liked it, please hit like and subscribe below, and join me next time to find out what we are doing the first full week of school. Have a great day.